This live stream will start in just a couple minutes. I'm up here in state of Oregon for a pilots meeting here. So this is getting ready to start. If the audio and pictures okay, let me know in the comments here. But I think this should be good. A little bit cheesy coming off of my phone here, but
just in case nobody tell you, we have about 15 minutes of club business,
yep.
And then you'll get introduced.
Perfect. All right, let me see if I can read some of these here. Looking good. All right, be about 15 minutes here, something like that. So hang tight. Be right with you here.
Yeah, you got to really be careful. one right now, Barry.
Good evening. Welcome everyone to our third and final flight profile lesson. Woohoo! We have, let's start with guests. We have guests?
My guest is Jackson Hoisington. His uncle and their son, his cousin, in my Teen Flight 2 program for Vans Aircraft. He went back to Oshkosh and did the build of the RD-12. Every shift that was not permitted, he only one shift, he did all of them. And then went back for the RD-12 build after that. So he's a glutton for punishment. He's got two brothers that are identical twins. They did the, what aircraft? Sonics. The Sonics aircraft, and one of the guys from Boeing said, you know, the Washington kids, the two twins, one was supposed to be better looking, the other was supposed to be smarter. The public went nuts. It turned out that Harry had a slight scar on his eyebrow, and Grant was charming. My mother tells me Harry is the smarter, so it must be true. But I'll have them here too. Great people to work with building aircraft. That's the way we do it.
Additional guests? Hey, hi Rick, how are you? You met him last week. He was here for my Part 91 review, which was a lot of fun. Mike Schaefer, welcome back for number 2. One more.
My guest is Henry Sprague. He's one of the Pearson group, flies a 172, and is getting ready to retire, so I won't tell you what he does. So anyway, he's looking forward to, I guess about June, was it? And the first thing he's going to want to do is go to Oshkosh. So.
Any more guests? I like the way you guys have spaced yourselves out here. It's really easy. I didn't bring them. I don't know why I have a microphone. Rob, you said. So Rob, who's going to speak on it? Dan Gryder. Where's Dan?
Kind of infiltrated the group. There's Dan.
Where's Dan?
I'm here. I will introduce a couple of these knuckleheads infiltrating your club. It's ridiculous. They were told free food, and look at, they're here. Peter and Ray live up at Parkside, and they came to Atlanta and flew the DC-3 a couple weeks ago, so I got introduced to them. And then one thing leads to the other. We ended up playing guitars, and it got late, and whatever happened after that, we can't talk about it, but they invited me to come up last night to Parkside and stay with them, so we played music at their place. Very nice place, gracious host up there, Ray and Lisa, Peter and Catherine. We all met in Atlanta to fly the DC-3. And then Brian Humble, your local orthopedic dentist, is that how you say it, orthopedic?
Oral surgeon,
Yeah, whatever. He and I do the same thing. If it doesn't work out, we just amputate. I'm also a doctor, equally qualified. I do a little bit different kind of stuff. But Brian Humble, local guy, pilot, helicopter guy. Brian hooks me up every time I'm in town with all kinds of logistics and stuff, and helicopter rides and all that kind of thing. So these three guys are with me. They're here to drink your beer and eat your food. And I'm sorry, I apologize. I'm wrong.
Thanks, Dan.
So we're hearing more from Dan, of course. Stan, you had an announcement?
We still have sign-ups for flying on Saturday. If you haven't signed up, we have lots of holes in the schedule. Rick has 2 schedules open on Saturday. Are you flying Saturday, or are you working on something with other people?
I'm fine.
Okay, we'll be here Saturday. I have 1 slot at 8 o'clock in the morning. If anybody wants to do that, I hope you don't. Bill Mandel has lots of room. He's only got 1 afternoon, so he's got 2 slots in the morning, 1 in the afternoon. If you want to fly with Phil. Alexandra Town, she was here earlier. She still around? She left?
She has last
Okay.
she's there.
Alexandra is available all day. She has nobody signed up at this point. And last but not least, Bruce Bennett. He's got 2 holes in his schedule, both at 8 o'clock and at 12:30. So if you want to fly with one of our CFIs, sign up. If Saturday doesn't work for you, get in contact with one of the CFIs who agreed to go flying, and they will make an arrangement to fly with you at some other time that works better for both of you. That's it. Oh, one other thing. The bar has a tip jar on it. Woohoo! Yeah. Unfortunately, Mark doesn't get the money. The tip jar is to help us finance the social committee. So if you're feeling like you don't need that buck or 2 that are burning a hole in your pocket, just put it in the jar over there. It goes for a good cause.
Social committee. Thank you.
And if you're still in the mood for signing up for stuff, I have 5 slots open on the landscaping plan, so please consider that. It's growing time. I'm mowing the lawn twice a week now. And some of the areas are looking pretty good, but some of them we really cleaned up when we had the work party, but they're just gonna grow the weeds. So we need people to take care of them. So please, consider that. And you can do it at any time, don't do it at a work party, just come out and do it wherever you have time.
Yeah, so it used to be we had work parties and it didn't always work with people's schedule. This is your way of being able to choose your own schedule.
Sorry about that. From the back of the room here, I want to say thanks to Clee. I'll do a little introduction on this in a little bit. But I spent the day at Clee's 210 today. We had a fabulous time. And he and I are both doctors as well, so we were able to talk about medical things that we can't talk about right now. But if you ever need anything done medically, I'm up to speed. My recurrent is complete because of Clee today. Isn't that great? Totally awesome. Also to my right is my friend Amy Showett, and she is from the Portland area here. She is, her grandfather was a pilot who flew out this area here, so she's very interested in this kind of thing. And she helps me a lot with some logistics things, so she's traveling. So this is my friend Amy.
You want to say you look like that guy in the front of the room?
Yes, very similar.
Yeah.
Let's see, Randy.
All right, Saturday dinner will be spectacular, and is there anyone who needs help signing up? There's a link on the calendar website, and Chris will sign you up if you contact her. Otherwise, I'm gonna see a show of hands of people planning to come that have not signed up. Anybody hasn't signed up that's gonna be here Saturday? Two. All right, sign up if you can. That's it, thanks.
If worst comes to worst, you can reply to the email that you got telling you about the party, and we'll get you signed up. All right, Bill, random number. Chuck. And on that note, turn it over to Cleve for the rest of the program.
All right. Spent the day flying around, and actually today was an awesome day. There was beautiful sunshine, a little bit of east wind up and down the area between here and Seattle. One word of warning, if you go up to Port Townsend, the airport cafe had a kitchen fire, and currently it is closed. So, but the restaurant there in Bremerton actually is pretty good, so it's a good second choice. Our speaker this evening has a long career in aviation. He flew for Delta Airlines for 40 years and flew pretty much their entire fleet in terms of the aircraft that they had. He's got a CFII for about the same duration. And of greatest interest to me is he's got a DC-3. And he does transition training. If you want a right seat qualification in a DC-3, Dan would be the person to talk to. He has a YouTube channel, and I'm a kind of a YouTube junkie, at least my wife thinks so. And he's got a great little itty bitty YouTube channel called Probable Cause. And Dan has taken a look at some of the accidents that occurred across our nation in the last few years. He'll actually take his own time to go out and look at the accident site, talk to people, talk to what you get out of the NTSB, but take a kind of common sense approach to looking at why did this accident happen and what can we do not to repeat the process. All of us, great pilots, I'm sure. Hopefully none of us have bent any aluminum in the years, but that it's a possibility in the stuff that we do. So we all want to try to be as careful and as fly the best we can to prevent that sort of thing. Dan also has a couple of other interesting kind of side things. One, I understand he plays a really good banjo and a really good guitar. A little bit of down home kind of playing, if you will. So if anybody brought their musical instruments, well, I maybe join in later. He's also a good authority on one of our local individuals called D.B. Cooper. And we actually went out today and flew part of the track that the airliner actually flew way back when with D.B. Cooper stepping out. And so maybe we get him to talk a little bit about sort of what he's discovered on that and kind of some ideas of what may have happened. So anyway, I will turn the floor over to Dan and all yours.
All right, thank you very much, and I'm going to step in front of the camera over here because I turned on my cell phone here, so we're actually on YouTube Live here, so don't say anything that you don't want on here, okay, because it's going out on the public airwaves here, but I think we should be good here, and I'm going to try to duct tape this microphone to this stand. Just about everything I do is really marginal. You ought to see my airplanes. No, kidding, but I mean, duct tape, it's called speed tape. We can hold that stuff together really, really good. But I appreciate Clee and the association here reaching out and inviting me. I do try to get out and on the road. It's not a money thing. I try to spread the exposure on what it is that I'm trying to get accomplished. So I've only got about 35 minutes. I know most of you are already thinking about getting home and get your pajamas on. I know, I get it. But we got a couple things to cover. I am going to play the guitar a little bit. I got a guest singer here tonight that's going to help me out. And I'll show you a little bit about this. My problem here is that this microphone is not supposed to hold this. So give me 10 seconds. I'm going to make this work. Can you do it? There you go. Pull that thing right there. We're just going to give this thing a wrap. It's going to work. Hang with me. It's going to work. All right. I think we're good.
You learned this on the DC-3, right?
There you go. How about that, huh? All right. Thank you. So anyway, welcome and thanks for the invitation. I want to do a quick recap here. My friends at this table, I say friends, I got friends in both places. But Ray and Peter up there Parkside, and Brian came all the way down here, and Amy in the back. They're all with me, and they came here this evening to visit your club. I understand this is the kind of the longest running club in America. Is that accurate, or how long has this flight club here been going?
West Coast.
West Coast? Okay.
1949.
1949. Who is the longest term member here this evening? Who's been a member of this club the longest, you think?
Where's Frank? Frank right there. Here.
Frank? All right. Big hand for Frank here. I know that's accurate because he's always frank with me. So we got a lot of stuff to cover, a little bit of music. I appreciate it if you hold off throwing things to the end. It makes it hard to play. You won't have to dodge projectiles, but we are going to get something done real quick here. We're going to talk about. Before I do that, I want to say Boeing. I'm not going to dwell on this, but Boeing, in my opinion, builds a fine product, a fine airplane. I've flown all of them. You talk about a solid airplane. I'm not buying this safety culture problem here. I think some knucklehead forgot to put the bolts in the window. Yes, that is a problem, but it doesn't represent that it's a bad company. Boeing is a good company. It's a solid company. Always room for improvement, but we need Boeing. We need it in the economy. We need their aircraft. I'm most completely disgusted with NTSB. The chair of the NTSB called that door plug, she called it a catastrophic in-flight structural failure. It was not a catastrophic structural in-flight failure. In fact, the door plug fell 10,000 feet. They could probably put it back in. It's a pretty good door plug, I think. It's still usable. It was not a structural failure. I think NTSB ought to be held accountable. Look at the damage that they did to reputation and PR by telling the public that it's a structural failure. She doesn't know what a structural failure is. That was not a structural failure. All the other things that the media pounced on Boeing over, a tire falling off or a hole in an engine, have nothing to do with any of that. But that's your media taking down your Boeing. Boeing is still a good product. It's still a fine company and some fine employees, and we need Boeing. We absolutely need Boeing. I'm not happy with that. Also, the NTSB chair, she talked about, thank you. Yes, big hand for Boeing. She talked about doing destructive testing on the door plug. She doesn't know we don't do destructive testing on a door plug. You can do NDT, you can do non-destructive testing. We don't. Why would you do destructive testing on? You're going to test it to the point that it would fail. Well, what is it that you want to fail? You can't do destructive testing on a door plug. And she put in. She told Congress, Yes, we're gonna take the door, we're gonna do destructive testing on the door. She doesn't know what she's talking about, but the media picks up on that. Look what it does to public perception. Now you got people out there that will not fly on a Boeing. Literally. Their sales are down, their marketing is down. I'll move on to the next topic here, but it's not fair for our government to have leapt in there and jumped on this and gone to the lengths that they have. I can tell you, I'd rather be in a Boeing than an Airbus. Okay, absolutely. You know, the DC-3 is called the DC-3. It came from the DC-1, then the DC-2. The DC-3, you know what DC stands for? Wrong. It's direct cable. It's a solid, all-metal direct cable. It's impossible for it to fail. It's a direct cable airplane. It's structurally stronger than a tank. The thing is crazy strong. Anybody remember Y2K? Anybody around flying during Y2K? I was the first guy in the air after Y2K. Now Y2K was technically 0000Z on January 1, was when Y2K was going to click over. It wasn't midnight local. I was in an MD-88 taxiing out of Boston when Y2K rolled around, and there was us, United, and American. We all taxied out at the same time. The clock is ticking. It's 2356Z. American was ahead of us, United was behind them, and then it's us. So Tara calls American and says, you guys ready for takeoff? And American says, no, they were also in an MD-80. They said, no, we're going to pull over here and wait till Y2K clicks over and see what happens, and see if we're ever. And I'm going, what? So they pulled over, and then there's United right behind them. They said, okay, United, you ready? They said, we're also going to do the same thing. We're going to pull over here and wait a few minutes and see what happens when we click over to 00. When Y2K gets here, we're going to see what happens. And I'm going, what? So Tara comes back, and I'm in the FO seat. The captain's over here. We're already laughing about this. And Tara says, Delta, you ready? I said, absolutely, sir. We are ready. And I said, not only that, we'd like to get position and hold, line up and wait, and clear for takeoff, but we'd like to do just a few second delay. And he said, yeah, for what? I said, I'd like to be rotating right when we click over. Approved as requested. So we rolled around the corner on 4 left, sat there, we got our stopwatches out, we're looking at this thing, everything's done, checklist complete, totally ready to go. Power's coming in, it's his takeoff, but I'm watching everything here. It's totally cool. We rotate positive rate, and the thing clicks over to Y2K. Right whenever we rotate, we're in Y2K. What do you think happened? Nothing. Nothing. I mean, are the ailerons going to stop working or what? But as some of the media frenzy stuff that you get, and common sense just leaves the table. But anyway, I digress. Don't get me started on the government. I did start this tiny little itty-bitty fledgling YouTube channel. You might like me, you might hate me. I do go a little bit out on the edge. I'm an advocate for the underdog. The people that don't have a voice, the people that die, the people that can't talk, the people that can't tell their story because they're dead, and the media's got it wrong, the NTSB's got it wrong. I totally dig in on those to try to show what really happened, to either clear a name or show what the deal is. I don't visit a lot of accident sites, but I do visit an accident site every now and then. Last Saturday, I went to Augusta, Georgia. A Bonanza crashed in Augusta, Georgia on Thursday morning, and I went there on Saturday morning. We went to the crash site. The guy that called me and said, here's the information on this, he was 1/4 partner in the airplane. He called me and said, Dan, come over, I'll pick you up, I'll show you the whole deal. So we went over there and looked at it. You know what the guy did? He made a takeoff on runway 5 at Daniel Field. He had some kind of a problem. I talked to the line boy. The line boy, I heard him on the radio, and he said, I'm coming back. I'm coming back. Now, if you fly straight ahead off of 5, you got Augusta National, the golf course. You got about 4 golf courses out there, totally wide open. What did this guy do? He had some kind of a problem. I haven't figured out exactly what his problem is, but we got the doorbell audio. His engine was running fine. He made a big left-hand circle trying to get back to 2-3. and he almost made it. Almost. But he didn't make it. He got that airplane wrapped over 40 degrees, nose high, pulling, and down it goes. Definitely, he wasn't high enough to spin. The left wing hit. You're going straight down. Is he surviving this? No, not survivable. In the time of crisis, the guy got pinged with something he was not expecting. It was an abnormal. Did he handle it properly? No. Could that happen to any one of us in this room? Absolutely. And that's the whole point of what I'm trying to do out here. Is called AQP. Anybody ever heard of AQP? I didn't think of it. This isn't my deal. I'm not selling it. It's not a money-making thing. I'm not trying to cram it down anybody's throat. I just want you to stay alive out there. AQP is a concept that came around in the airlines many years ago. It has to do with training for the abnormal. Now, if you think about this, in the old days, we took check rides, we used the PTS. You go out to do a check ride, well, you gotta do the steep turn, you gotta do the chandelle, you gotta do the lazy eight, and these are the things that you gotta do. These are our maneuvers, right? How many of you guys have done those? Everybody. Well, when's the last time you ever been flying around and needed to do a chandelle to get out of something? Those are training maneuvers. We use those to show that you can fly the airplane, that you can control it. But what the airlines found out is that in the time of crisis, here's what really happened. Well, what really happened is they were going to Reno on a 7-2. They had a B-system hydraulic failure in conjunction with an electrical generator fell offline. And here's what happened. Because of that, they thought they had mid-slats, but not full flaps. That's what happened, and here's the indication that they got. But they didn't really have what they really thought. Well, let's make that a check ride item. Let's give them that at the sim and see if they can handle it. It's got nothing to do with a steep turn. This is a scenario that could happen to them. The problem is, in time of crisis, you get surprised. If you have to think your way through it, you're going to be dead. You have to be conditioned to do the right thing quickly, know what the situation is, and do the proper thing. So I stole the AQP philosophy. I don't have data to back it up. Actually, I have a lot of data now. But I took all the concepts for general aviation. What's the most common way of killing yourself in an airplane? Well, guess what? It's impossible for you to go out there and make up a new way of killing yourself in your airplane that I have not seen before. You are not that creative. You can't do it. You kill yourself in an airplane, it's one of these 22 on my piece of paper. It falls into one of these categories. Well, if there's only about 22 of these, how about if we just learn what the 22 are and practice them and be ready for them? That's all the airlines did. Did it solve anything at the airlines? Oh yeah. It took a horrible record and a horrible problem, and it fixed it. It fixed it good. My idea is to take AQP, the philosophy, convert it over to general aviation on a voluntary basis. I don't want the government. I don't want more red tape. I don't want any more regulation. I want you to lay in bed at night and watch YouTube and see how the guy died and think, you know what, tomorrow morning I'm going to take my airplane, I'm going to go out and practice that. I'm going to rehearse it and get it so good that I can do it. Now rehearsal. Let's talk about rehearsal. When you rehearse something, you have to rehearse so that you can do it under pressure. I'm not sure how this is going to work. There we go. All right. Now this is a Martin 12 string, so it actually makes a pretty good sound here. So what I got here, whoops, it's gonna work. What I got here is a Martin 12 string. Anybody, any guitar players in here? Oh, there you go. There's your real men right there. So I'm actually a banjo player, but I play banjo only in bands when I got the rest of the stuff that can kind of cover up the banjo sound. Banjo by itself is horrible. You don't want to listen to that. So I took my banjo gizmos that I put on my fingers, I converted this over to 12 string, and it makes a sound that sounds like this. All right. It sounds like this. I'm going to count this through for you so you can watch this. Now, you guys from the state of Oregon, you would have no problem counting to 8, but I'm going to help you here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3. So it's a pattern, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. My fingers are going in order, but I'm still talking to you. I'm not thinking about my fingers. What's that called? It's called muscle memory. Now this guitar also has two things on here. It has both a volume control and a speed control. Now this lady sitting over here, I'm going to sing this song because I'm getting a vibe here. Is your name Amy?
It is.
It is?
Oh, another Amy.
Another one. All right, Amy, this song is for you. I sing this song all the time. I can see why you think you belong to me. You never tried to make me think. Well, let's see this one thing for yourself. Now you're up for someone else down home. See, I thought I might just keep it for my own. Amy, what you want to do? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 1, 2, 3. I can't count that fast and speak it, but that's what my brain is doing. It's muscle memory. Now it's coming. What you want, you've had your way. And all the things I thought before could be right in time. And can't you see that I don't know if it's you or if it's me? Oh, it's probably you. If it's one of us, I sure will see. It's always her fault. Amy, what you want? I think that I could stay with you for a while longer. Wonder if I do. You guys remember that song?
Yeah. 19.
Something in the way she moves looks my way, calls my name. She always thinks we change my mind. I'll be fine every time she's around me now. She's around me now. Quite a long, long time. So the guitar is a lot of fun. You can make a lot of friends with it. You can also get thrown out of a lot of places real fast with it. I appreciate your help. So the main thing the guitar do is get everybody involved. Check this out. You guys got to help me here. So bye, bye, kiss you, everything, bye, bye. Drove my Chevy to the levee, but the levee was dry. Man, good old boys were drinking whiskey and rye. Saying this will be the day that I die. This will be the day that I die. So the guitar is really good for sing-alongs. The more you drink, the better I'll sound. Almost heaven. West Virginia, Blue Ridge Mountains, Shenandoah River. You know this. Life is older than a tree, mowing like a mountain, and it's blowing like a breeze. Country roads, take me home to the place at home, West Virginia. Mama, take me home. I hear her voice in the morning hours. She calls me. Radio reminds me of my home, far away. Driving down the road, I get a feeling that I should have known yesterday. Remember that? So that's what we use the guitar for. It's muscle memory. I don't really remember how to play the guitar, but my fingers remember how to do it. And that's all that matters. You remember the words to the songs because your brain has been conditioned to do that. Is it possible to use that technique as pilots for muscle memory and knowing what to do in the time of crisis? Is it possible? Apparently. It is. So, what I want to talk to you about is our fatal accident rate, and I do a lot of this stuff. I keep track of this data on these sheets. I put it on YouTube. The guy dies. I put his picture on here. Here's how old he was. Here's his picture. Here's what he did. Is that mean or disrespectful? I don't mean it to be disrespectful. I'm trying to help the next guy. This is the truth. This is what he did. You ought to pay attention to this because this is how he died. Don't go do this in your airplane. We've been working on this for several years. The accidents stream into me from so many sources now. I got people all over the country. Just a couple hours ago, you haven't heard about it, but we had a Cirrus crash in Texas. A Cirrus in Texas. 2 or 3 hours ago. Now the good news is, 2 people on board, they both survived. Engine problem, they didn't pop the chute. You know what they did? They landed straight ahead and didn't stall their airplane. How about that? Didn't need the chute. They just landed the airplane. They didn't stall it. The information out there to control your aircraft, don't stall your airplane. In the time of crisis, your tendency to pull back is very strong. Very strong. You're going to be scared, and you haven't rehearsed it, you're going to want to pull back. So our data for so far for the year 2024, we got 1/3 of the year done. We got January, February, March, April done. That's 1/3 of the year. Our rate right now is the best we've ever seen. How many, in years gone past, how many fatal accidents are we normally supposed to have per month in the USA? How many? 0. That's a good answer. It's supposed to have 0. How many have we had traditionally? What's been our steady drumbeat? Never go below this mark. 18. We've never scratched 18 per month, spread out over the year. 18 fatals per month. That's people just like you that lost an airplane and a life and a family. Gone. Get 18 per month. And I look at that like, why? Why can't we learn from this? NTSB comes in, they make a vague report, takes 3 years, we've already forgot about the accident, they don't make a recommendation. In the last 11 years, how many NTSB investigations have been conducted? 13,000 NTSB investigations, where they investigate, send people, collect up the wreckage, take it to a hangar and try to reassemble it 13,000 times. Now out of that, how many recommendations have they made? Something useful, a takeaway that how many? 13. Not 1,300, like 13, the one right after 12. 13. Like what are we doing this for? You're going to send people out 13,000 times, collect all the information, and this is all we get out of it? We get nothing. So I think privatizing among us, a grassroots effort to try to figure out what we did wrong is huge. I'm a huge proponent of the AQP concept, which has to do with defined minimum maneuvering speed as well. It's got to do with checklist, flows, and being ready. Who in here has a defined minimum maneuvering speed for the airplane that they're flying? Downwind to base. Let me rephrase this. The airplane that you're flying, downwind to base, what speed are you flying? Not 90, I heard a 90. I heard an 80. Okay, I'm not a genius, but 90 sounds like a really big fat number. Like, where did 90 come from? What's 90 got? Okay, it does work, but why 90? If you had to do it right down to the 1/10, that would give you 30% stall buffer in a 30-degree bank loaded the earth. What speed would that be right down to the 10th? Do you know? Is it possible to know? You go to fly at the airlines, they're going to have a min maneuvering speed for every configuration, every lift configuration. They're going to tell you what's the min speed to fly. How many airline guys we got in here? quite a few. You wouldn't ever come flying in and go below your flaps 1 maneuvering speed. Never. You cannot. The other guy's going to be screaming. If you get close to your min maneuvering speed, as you start to throw out lift devices and get dirtier, your min maneuvering speed gets lower, and you can do all that stuff. You can't bust min maneuvering. In general aviation, we have everything called VA, maneuvering speed. It's got nothing to do with what we're doing and trying to avoid the stall spin below 1,000 feet. If you have a spin endorsement in your hip pocket and you spin it at 700 feet, base to final, will the spin endorsement save you? No. It's going to end up in your wallet. The coroner's going to find it. That's all it is. The spin endorsement did nothing for you. You can't spin your airplane. Don't spin your airplane in the traffic pattern. DMS is a super simple concept. You can figure out what your VREF is and your min maneuvering speed, mark it, and honor it. Don't bust this speed in the traffic pattern. Pay close attention. Once you mark it on your airspeed indicator, it's amazing. It's like the gods from heaven shining down. You can't help but look at it. It's obvious. It's right there. Don't bust the speed until you're on final, then you're a VREF airplane and you can fly a VREF all the way in. It's the same thing that you're going to do at the airline. Where's the kid here that's going to the airline starting tomorrow? That guy right there. What was your name again? Brian. Brian. Yeah, I canceled your sim for tomorrow, so I called. Told me you weren't interested. Now, a big hand for Brian. He's going to Horizon, young man. He did it right. He washed airplanes. He CFI'd. He worked. He did everything he was supposed to do. He gets his big break. He's got 1,600 total, and he's going to Horizon. And it's going to work. Not that it's going to be easy, Brian, but it's going to work. Just remember in the simulator, my advice to you, the only words that need to come out of your mouth for the next 4 weeks are, "That's the best idea I've ever heard." Keep saying it. That's the best idea I've ever heard. None of it's going to make sense. You got to do the deal. Cooperate, graduate, get your piece of paper, get out of there. Keep your mouth shut, keep moving. You can fix it later, but some of the stuff you're going to see is going to be like, what? What? Best idea I've ever heard, sir. May I have another? That's all it is. So these accidents, I'm going to go over real quick, and then we are going to get out of here. I promise we will get out of here. January, we had 11 of them, 11 fatals. Everything from a failed, rejected takeoff. You know, in the general aviation world, we don't even have a rejected takeoff. It's not in the training, it's not on any check ride, it's not on any, it's a rejected takeoff. Doesn't even get an honorable mention. You go haul it down the runway and you have a problem. We don't give you the training. We don't give a private pilot the training on even what a rejected takeoff is or on what basis to reject. We don't give it to you. Why? I say in AQP, let's tell them about the rejected takeoff. Let's give them the parameter, the metric, tell them what to stop for, how to stop, and what the method's going to be to stop. Let's make them know everything there is to know about a rejected takeoff on a volunteer basis. I think it's a good idea. The very first accident in January was an RTO, a failed RTO, a Highlander. Jared Hansen, 45 years old, tried to make a takeoff, did not have enough room. Should have recognized that he didn't have thrust, he didn't have runway, and his big tires were running in snow and mud, and he did not get acceleration. Him and his wife burned alive in the airplane off the end. They did not stop. They did not stop. The 11, a stall spin, one ice. We had 2 Venice scenarios. Venice is the thing where you take off at night over a city, but you take off over water. And a VFR private pilot making a night flight is all of a sudden over IMC because it's black out there. Did not transition to instruments because he's thinking it's night VFR, not a cloud in the sky, but he loses control of his airplane because all of a sudden his visual reference is gone. He tries to fly visually over the water, you can't see anything. And 2 airplanes down in Venice, Florida did the exact same thing about 90 days apart. Both of them had families on board. Both of them ended up at about the same place off the end of the runway in Venice, Florida. I call it the Venice maneuver, but that's, we had 2 of those in January. We had low tide. Remember, we have low tide and row tide. Low tide was loss of thrust on takeoff. We don't have reliable engines. I don't want us to have reliable engines. We don't have a reliable engine. Your engine is going to fail you. I promise you, it's going to fail you. Are you ready for it? When it fails, where are you going? If you think that you can turn around from 400 feet and make it back to this runway, you're gonna be dead. You're definitely gonna be dead. I'm gonna stand up here and tell you right now, don't do that. Is it possible to turn around? Might be, depending on your skill, your wing loading, all those things. It's not a hard rule, don't turn around. All I'm saying is, take the sure shot. If you can land straight ahead and get your picture in the airplane, smiling beside the wreckage, take that. That's what you want. Is it inconvenient to land off field? Yes, it is. Everybody gets excited. Not a big deal. Pick up the airplane, we'll cart it back and put it back together. If you try to make it back and stall and spin your airplane, you end up dead. All the king's horses and all the king's men could not put Humpty Dumpty back together again. We can't do it. It's over. No mulligans. It's not going to work. Low tide and rotide. Rotide is even more deadly than low tide. Rotide is a reduction of thrust after takeoff. You take off, your engine doesn't quit. It rolls back. Horrible. Why is that even more horrible? It's because it makes you think that you still got an engine. It's still kind of running, but not good. You're kind of producing a little bit of thrust. How much? We don't know. And it's going to lull you into thinking, well, I got enough thrust, I can make it back. So you start this turn. Whatever caused your engine to roll back goes ahead and finishes you off before you make it back. Now you've initiated this turn at 45 degrees bank, and your engine goes ahead and finishes failing. Now what do you got? And you passed up the golf course that was right here. You could have had your picture in the paper with the championship flag, golf course. Yes, I tore up green number 3. Thank you. I'm alive, I'm going to dinner. Forget it. Take the sure shot. Always in life, you're going to be up against this gamble. It's a thing like Monty Hall, let's make a deal. You get to choose this door, this door, this door, or do you want the lady's purse with the egg in it? We don't know. We don't know what's in there. We don't know. Take the sure shot. If you have an opportunity to go straight ahead where the outcome is guaranteed, take it. Take it. This whole thing about turning around and gambling and maybe it'll work, you're not going to find out to the very end that it didn't work. That was January, we did 11 of them. In January we had 11, February we had 4, March we had 9, April we had 10, and in May, so far we've had 2. I just updated the April sheet from 9 up till 10 because the accident up in Indiana, the Piper Dakota, the guy came flying in there, did a missed approach, went around, DMMS, loss of speed, stalled and spin it, hit a jogging trail, hit 2 joggers on the jogging trail. The airplane caught fire and he was trapped inside the airplane, but they got him out and he was burnt. The airplane originally got logged as an accident and not a fatal. 4 days ago he died of his burn wounds. It's a fatal, so I had to update April from 9 to 10. He didn't make it. I didn't think he was going to make it. You burn alive inside your airplane. Burns. Burns are, you might make it a few weeks, but the body cannot recover from that. Point is, don't put yourself in that position in the first place. It's a horrible way to go. That's January, February, March, and April. Where are we at numbers-wise? I mentioned this 18 thing. It's been 18 for forever. Do the data, go back and look from 1975 all the way up to the last 5 years. The last 5 years, we've taken that 18 and we've stair-stepped it down. This is fatals per month. 18, 17, 16, 15, 14. We concluded 2023 at 14 general aviation fatals per month. Best I've ever seen. We've slowly stepped it down. It's not me. I'm not claiming credit. This is internet, social media, ADSB, news stations, YouTube, Facebook. I guarantee you any accident happens, it's all social media within 30 minutes, and here's the guy's picture. You guys are laying awake at night listening to my voice and other people's voices about what happened, and you're learning from it. You're definitely learning from it. It's the internet that has helped us because you guys truly do want to stay alive. Is that fair? Is that what it is? So we ended up 2023 at 14. What's our number as of today? Prorated for today, which is the 9th of May, Prorated right now, we are at 8.34 fatals per month. Per 8. I've never seen it. 8 per month. So basically, in the first 4 months of 2024, we've saved 36 lives, 36 airframes over the 18 mark. We're 36 fatals better than what we should be. It's a huge improvement, and I think it has to do with people truly wanting to stay alive. It's the reason that I'm here. I go out on the road, I talk to people like you, where I can put this on YouTube, I can talk. There's probably 10 or 12 people on this YouTube thing here right now. I don't know, I'll check. I'm almost done, hang on. But I appreciate the invitation. You know, my friend the doctor here reached out a long time ago and said, hey, we got this club, love to have you come out, hang out with us, eat dinner, do your presentation, play your guitar, whatever you want. And I appreciate those kind of opportunities. It's not a money thing. I've never been paid. I don't ask to be paid. I travel at my own expense. I go wherever I need to go. I try to spend a day or two visiting people, and we talk through this stuff. You CFIs out here, you can start teaching these 22 AQP scenarios to your students. Quit teaching them the steep turn, okay? They've got it. Don't waste any more time showing them a steep turn. Show them what they need to know to stay alive in their airplane. I'm about done. I do have one question back here. Oh, are you bidding, or did you have a question?
No, I'm just telling you that you got 200 watching right now.
Okay, well, there's a couple of these.
A little more than you thought.
Yeah, that's good. I thought he was bidding, so
He'd outbid me though.
I do have some stuff for sale. So no, I don't have anything for sale. I'm gonna get out of here, and I just want to profusely say thank you for the invitation. It's always a pleasure to come and visit and be with you guys, and I thank you for allowing me to show up. Big hand for Clay. That flew the airplane with me today, put up with listening to me yap in the airplane all day long, and we had a great time, and thank you, sir.
Dan, thanks for coming out and being our concluding speaker for Flight Profile this year. This is our 75th anniversary year, so it's a momentous year. And to thank you for your time and for coming down here, we have a challenge coin for you.
Oh, great. Thank you very much. I appreciate that.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. All right, we're concluded. That's all we got. Have a great evening, and thank you for inviting me.
I'll add to that.
Let's try that pose one more time.
Oh, okay.
Camera.
All right.
Got the camera.
Good, thank you. Let me turn this thing off here.
Your chain is on the floor.
Yeah, they're over my glasses.
Let me add to your collection as well. Yeah, this is my.
All right, give me 10 seconds here to turn this thing off. I set my glasses.
You gotta turn off the camera. I can't believe it's part of
One more thing.
Yeah, that one, the fifth.
Personally, I like to say thanks
You have a
for
lapel
coming
mic.
out.
You probably should have broken that out.
That's my commander's coin.
Oh, okay, thank you. I appreciate that. Very nice, thank you. I got 5 or 6 of these that I've collected over the years. People give me challenge coins, so thank you.
Thank you for coming.
Yes, sir.
I'm sure that Clay has shown you all the pictures on the walls.
I've seen them, yep.
And This one amazing thing to take away. This building was built with volunteer labor and donated parts.
Is that right? Well, it's a beautiful building, and you've got a great group here. So,
And back in our boardroom, there's a picture from the FAA, plaque from the FAA, which I hope you see.
I saw that. Yep.
Because the FAA liked our flight profile so much. That's where the biannual flight came from.
Is that right? Wow. Good. Good. Yeah, I'll go take a closer look at that again. I will. Thank you. I got to figure out how to turn this thing off here.
That's a good question.